Okay, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us again today for another CTC SIM project webinar. My name is Tony Crick. I'm the Civil Product Manager here at CTC. Today we're going to be talking about one of our tools, pipes, and in particular Pipe Planner. It's kind of a kickoff or a continuation of a series if you were at any of our past webinars. So if you have any questions while we're going along, feel free to post them and we'll get to them at the end of the presentation. So with that, let's move along. So Pipe Planner, like I said, it's one of our SIM project suite of tools. It's intended for the everyday civil 3D users creating design and production drawings. It will work in the last 4 versions of Civil 3D, now back to version 2020. So again, Pipe Planner, it's part of our pipes module. It has 2 apps within the tool, as you can see on the right side of the screen there. We have the edit and the import. So we can do quick editing directly in the drawing through the app. We can also export it to an Excel spreadsheet, and we can import it back once we've made changes externally. So if you have somebody, hydrology engineer, someone like that working on it exteriorly, well, you continue your design and then you can bring it back in. So it eliminates, as with the rest of our tools and our pipe tools in particular, eliminates the tedious editing tasks that Civil 3D has. Pipe networks are great once you get them designed, but if things change, we know how time consuming and frustrating sometimes they can be. So it simplifies our workflows by centralizing all of our data into one easy to use app, and we can edit with this app. We can do all networks at once, or we can pick out individual networks. So we can also create customizable reports and tables, which we can save for later. Again, things like structure, schedules, pipe depth reports. We can pull quantities from there and more. So with that, let's jump into Civil 3D and see how this thing works. Okay, here we have a typical, if you were with us last week, we created this table. Off of here, we used our parts swapper and parts tagger tools to do some things into this drawing. So we'll just kind of jump off from there. We created this table over here. And we can see how that updates. So like we said, we know that Civil 3D is great for creating pipe networks, and we can do a lot of stuff with it, but editing can be a little difficult. I'm just going to show you real quick here. This is a little lateral of this pipe network. So that's working a little slow with doing the webinar, but you get the idea there. So let's jump back into the drawing here and open up Pipe Planner. First one we're going to look at is the edit pipes. So here's a it will hang on to your last setting, whatever you had here. So we can get at all of our networks here. This one just has storm in it to simplify things. So on the left here, we have, you can turn on all, so we see everything here, all our catch basins, all our pipes. We can do just structures, catch basins, manholes, or we can do just pipes. So we have a few of our user interface. If you've used our tools before or seen them, the same familiar kind of workflow for the UI. Here's where our template path is set. You might have this set to a network location. For today's presentation, I'm just going to do everything local. So if you have typical pipe networks or templates, I have a bunch here that I've pre-made. You'd be able to get at those. So if somebody makes one and your path to it, you'd be able to grab it right here. So within our options, we can set the location for that. We set our precisioning, our character groups. We have pipe depth calculation reports. I'll show you how that works a little later. So you can set these however you want. You can use a fixed one or you can use a custom one. So what this is going to do is it's going to give us a pipe depth report that's going to tell us the length of pipe in these ranges from 5 feet down to 10 feet down. And where is it measuring from? You could pick whatever you want here. Typically, it would probably be to the top. And then our catchment settings, how do we want those to be reported? We want to combine them or use separate. I will show you that a little bit later on too. So the first time you're going to open it up, it's probably going to be blank like this. Like I said, you would have a template. If I dump a template in here, any one of these, it will come pre-populated. I'm just going to stick one in here real quick just to kind of show you, but we will get to that later. So it's telling me that no pipes are associated, or it's going to associate them. I'm not sure what it said there. So from there, populated just exactly how I had it set up. If it doesn't match the IDs, it won't fill in. So I can select them one at a time. I can get rid of them. So if I want to push one over, I can do that here. Let's just concentrate on structures right now. And in fact, I'm going to clear all this out to show you where that comes from. So again, here. So here's our networks, all of our pipes, structures, and on the right is the properties that we can populate. Question came in from Owen, is it possible to label the pipes and add the length per pipe depth in the labels? It will update automatically. I can show you that. We have another tool for that, Label Genie, which makes labeling very simple. But this app right here does not do the labeling. So moving on here, put that to new file. So we have our properties. If you've seen any of our webinars before, we've made a few improvements to this. For instance, this right side here, I always thought it was a little kind of clumsy because it came all the way open and we couldn't close it. You had to come in here and close them one at a time to pick through things if you wanted to. We have this great filter thing up here too to find things if you want something populated. I just find it's easier if you want to pick through them or just to see what they offer. It's just to pop them one at a time so I can close them, open them. Kind of a handy new little option. I believe that came out with 23.0, but I'm not positive. So let me close that up. We'll start populating some of these. So first I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna push all the structures over. So again, nothing, but we have the ID, and these are built, the way this app works is it's using the Civil 3D handles. And that's what this ID is. So that's what ties it to our drawing. And in that way, we can edit some other things. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna push a bunch of stuff over there. Oops. So for this one, let's create, so if we want to match our table here, our structure table, let me close that real quick. So the table that we made last week in our webinar, if we wanted a structure report to kind of match that, if we didn't want to build a table, if we wanted to have an Excel for it or save a template for it, so every time we would get the same stuff, we can do that with Pipe Planner. So I'll open it back up and we'll just start matching all of this up here. So the first thing we want is the name. So that's right here in general. If I was just looking for it, I could type the name right here. I don't know why I didn't find it, but we'll make that work on some other things. So name, I'll put that over there. So first thing we want is the name, the pipe name. And then these are like an Excel. You can sort them, double click them. You can move these around individually. We can insert, we can do basically the same functionality that you get in Excel. So we're going to want that to match too. Let me take them out of there real quick. I don't know why they didn't with this order. I'll push them back over. So we're going to want that to match our table. So we're going to want 1, 2, but I think we'll do that in Excel. A little quicker in Excel to move that, but if I wanted to move these all up, and so forth. So next one we're going to want is our alignment. What is our reference alignment? So that's right here, also under general. So we'll move that over. And we're going to want our station and offset. There are separate tabs in here under geometry. So here's our structure station. We're going to structure offset, push that over. So station offset for our structures. We got type down here. So that's our material. Right here. So I typed it there and it's showing me the tools that it involves. Let me show you that again. So if I open them all up and I'm looking for something in particular, like the material, then you can see it right there. So kind of easy to find that way. So next thing we want our details. So we want our rim, our sump, and our invert in and out. So let's first look for our rim right here. Insert rim elevation. So there's our rim elevation. What's next up here? Sump elevation. Right there under sump behavior. So we want our inverts in and out. Invert in, right there. Invert out. You can see that some of these have multiple ins and outs, so that populates all of them right there. If you only wanted to see one, you could remove right here. You could do that and remove it if you needed to. You could do that with any of the other ones. We can also push these around if we don't like the order that they're in. We can move them left and right. There's a lot of options in here how we can do this. So what's the next thing? Casting. Try the grate. So under here it's grate and the part data. So again, we're populating. Here we can see we added these call outs for particular structure here. Those populate. Again, everything that is built in your pipe network through Civil 3D is available here. That's what you see. So next thing, we want our description. So we got part description, pipe out description, general description. So we probably want our general description. And again, if it's not what you want, no problem, you can just remove it. So if I added this, for example, I got all this stuff that I didn't really want. That's our pipe stuff. You don't really need that for our structure report. So I can grab it and I can push it out, or I can, as I said, remove right here. So that matches our table right there. So in this interface right here, anything that's in white can be edited. Some of the things you can edit in Excel, we'll come back to. Some of this inverting stuff, and then bring it back in. So we wanted it to match this table. So we got, everything is in numerical order there. Like I said, we can move these things. I'm not going to take all the time to order them, but you get the idea. Once you get this set up and you get a template made for it, it should come in like that, however you sorted it. I believe that's how it works. So here I would go ahead and I would save a template. And so when I open this up right away, it goes to the path from my options. And these are some of the ones that I've brought over, made previously. So we're going to call this, call it same as the up there, we'll call it the storm structure schedule. Actually, we'll just call it structure schedule. So we can use this again for sanitary if we need to. And I'll load it in another drawing to show you how that works. So we'll just call it structure. Call it schedule. I'll spell it all out. So I'm going to save this. And it gives you confirmation that it's saved, and it populates back up here. So once we've done that, and we can make any changes, if we've made any changes over here, they would be reflective in there. For this today, I am going to export it, and we'll make a change or two, and then we'll bring it back in so we can see how that works. Now we have it saved, we need to export it. So right here, this is where the location it's going to put your Excel. You would probably have it somewhere on the network. Today I've got it right here. Once it's set, kind of the tricky thing, and once it's set, it will continue to be that. So if somebody else has saved it to their hard drive and you open it up, that will probably be there too. So if everybody's saving to the same location, then it should be whatever you have already there. So let's call this same as the table name. We'll call it our storm. Oh, we got to make it first. Here's one of the glitches with using the Excel stuff. We have to first make one here. It doesn't actually save. It's looking for the file name. It's not looking to make one here. So we have to make it here first. Oops, I want it to be storm structure table schedule. Let me fix that. Spelling. And then I'll open it. Now we got it. Pick it. Okay. So that's where it's going to go when I do the export. So some options in the export are create a new sheet or write to an existing sheet. If there's an existing sheet, it'll be right here. All we have in there is sheet 1 right now. So that's what you're going to get. Starting cell, that's the cell in Excel. So A1, I'll show you that when we get there. And what are we going to export? Structures, pipes. By default, it all goes. I think it goes on the first run. So include the headers. That's everything up here. So we'll just go ahead and export. We're going to click this on for structures and pipes to go to a separate tab. And I'm going to say create new. So now it's not going on sheet 1, it's going to make new sheets. So it's telling me it's there. Yes, it found it. And then it opens up, automatically it opens up right away. And here we're seeing, in Excel, we're seeing our same stuff that we have right there, and it's Excel, so you can do with this as you please. You know, like that, we can wrap the text. We can get this looking a little bit better, and it will hang on to that too. So if that's how you want it to look. And so on. So here we can do a lot of editing. It's obviously a number format. That's not formatted right, but it's Excel. So I come in here and change that to 2. Yeah, probably what we want. So like I said, Excel, very easy to edit. So here we notice this 25 is wrong, and we probably want it to fill in. So we're going manhole 1 all the way up to 16. So let's call it CB17. And everything We could, if we wanted to edit any of our rim elevations, any of our sumps, any of our inverts, we could do that here. And this could be done externally by anybody for you to bring in. So for now, we're just going to leave that for simplicity. So we change that. I'm going to do a save and close it. Oh, let me reopen that. Because I wanted to show you the other tabs that it made. So through that there, I don't know why it did that. In the pipe, did we get manhole 1? Yeah, it's still there. So I don't know why it did that. It should have just made the tab. Well, that's fine. We just delete it. And then by default, sheet 1 is always there. So we get all of our structure report, same as the table right there. So once we've got that made, whoops. Sorry about that. Once we've got that made, we can bring it in. So that's our other tool here. That fingering things today happens. So we come to our import spreadsheet. Now, since we already made it, I've already pre-pathed this to the right location. At least I think I did. We'll find out. And again, our pipe depth. So everything is set up to there. Cancel. I'm not sure what I picked there. Let's try it again. But the red indicated that it didn't find these things in the drawing. So here I'll go out and get that Excel that we just made. So I'll open that. Again, the path led me there. And then I can pick these were the tabs in the sheet. So anything I want to bring in right there, I go ahead and click that. And here's the one we changed right here. It highlights in green. Anything that you might have changed, it's going to show up right there. You know what, I wanted to show you how this updates on the fly. So let me close that real quick. We'll zoom in here. And there's where 25 is. There's where it is on the drawing. So when I bring it in, it will update all that automatically. So again, let's go get that, bring it in right there. Select my sheet, structures, populates everything. There's the change. Slide that out. We'll watch that change as I hit import. Then I get a confirmation that it's been updated. Click OK. And there it changed. So it renumbered it here and there all at once. So moving on, if we have another drawing, if for some reason you're in a development stage or what have you. So that was like an initial, let's just call it, it was an initial pipe design. This is more of a final design. So pretty much the same. Some of these are the same, some are not. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to open Pipe Planner again in the Edit Networks. That's going to hang on to everything that we had. all the settings we had that match that table, like we said. Here's our names. And that's where the handle comes in. It's going to find what is the same and what is different. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to export this as another one. So let's give it a new name. Let's call it network. Let's call it structures. Network structures. So that's where it's going to go. And I talked about before the different networks that are available in here. If I had water, that would be available here. Soon to support pressure networks as well. So we can select both or not. I'm just going to leave it on the storm right now. So that's what we picked up on. Again, we're going to do the same thing. Create new sheets. All the same settings. And we'll go ahead and we'll export that. So we get the same thing that we had here. And it did bring the pipes in that time too. So I'm just going to close this and we'll bring it in to the other drawing. Click OK here. You click OK if you made any changes to it. I didn't. I'm just doing that to show you. If you made changes, your status tells you it's updating the drawing. So if we come back to this one now, we want to see what has changed. It's not going to add the parts here. It's just going to tell you, hey, this is different. Maybe you loaded the wrong one or what have you. So same thing, it's in the same location. We called it network structure. Open that up. I'm going to pick just the structures again. Pause while it populates, and here's our report. So it didn't find this 101. It found this one has a new name. 106 has a new name now at 15 plus 50, give or take. We'll take a look at that. And these others aren't going to happen, but these will be updated. So we'll go look at 15 plus 50 for that one to see a couple more there too, to see what we got there. Oh, it even changed the station. So that's different. Let's bring it in and see what happens. So you get a confirmation. And maybe you saw all of these pipe depths. Well, pipes didn't change because all we changed was the structures. If we brought the pipes to, they would have moved as well. So we set at 1550. So now you can see they're renumbered. And again, comes over here, does the table. So we got new numbers. Our 25 is changed to something else now. 108A right there. Okay, so kind of a handy way to update things and save a little time as you're going along here. So we're back in there. Okay, we did that one. So let's go, we wanted to do some catchment reports too. So it has the capabilities. That drawing didn't have catchments in it. Again, same layout here. This one has catchments. They're over here. So they're storm catchments, and the catchment are noted here. Anything that you had set up when you created your catchments, anything in your properties, will be available there. So all this is all accessible through our pipe planner. But again, nothing proprietary, just simply drawing in a better location of how to do this thing. So let's make a catchment report here real quick. So let's bring this up. Again, we'll open it. And I have pre-made one. So I'm just going to go ahead and load it. So it's telling me right away that this one falls outside of our surface. So we can't do any calculations with it. And that's fine. You probably wouldn't. This example is really kind of toned down. So it hangs on to our last setting that we had here within the drawing. Again, everything set the same, I believe, yes. Okay, so I have a catchment one right here. I have a catchment report that I already made. Just to save time for the presentation, I think you saw how to do that. So I'll bring it in the same thing, everything available here. Maybe this is a typical way of reporting that you want to do. Structure, northing and easting. And don't think we probably want those. We don't need those for this, so let's just get those out of there. So if I remove those columns, so insertion, probably want that. We would want the rim. Some things, typical things you would probably want in your catchment report. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to then just save over top of that one. So it's saved. And let's just bring it back in. Just to kind of show you how that updated. So now it looks like it did before. So again, if you have catchments, this will be available. If you noticed in the other ones, we didn't have catchments, so they weren't available. So anything that you have in here will be there. So we've got the catchments listed right here. If we wanted to change the name of those, we could do it. We could certainly do it here, but I'm going to do it externally to show you. So let's send this one out to, let's make a catchment report. I have already done this, but I'll pick that anyway. And I'm going to go ahead and export again with the same settings. I think I'm going to leave that. Let's see what happens. I think I have to make new. So since I didn't have that on there, I needed to make a new one. And since it's been made before, it's going to make a new tab and it's going to give you the date and time right here for it. So here's what it had before. Catchments. I'm going to delete that. So it's just an Excel, so I can do typical Excel stuff here. Let's rename that to just structures. Spell it right. I'll call it catch. Catch area, we'll just call it that. So right here, then we can, again, reorganize all these and we can give these different numbers. What if there are separate ones? Maybe we want to call them A and B and so on. I'll go ahead and just change them all. B, and they're not in the right order, of course, but that's fine. You would almost definitely want to change one to A and so on. I'm just going to go down the line here. Okay, and this one fell outside, so we didn't get one. So we'll go ahead and we'll save this. We'll close it. And we'll close this. So I'll just say okay right there. Cancel and X, do the same thing. So over here, like I showed you, these have, uh-oh. You see how those are right now. So we'll go ahead and we'll bring that in. We'll import that spreadsheet. Grab that. Here we call it catchment, structure catchment area. Bring it in. It's going to tell us right here, these were changed. Import it. Duplicate names, did I? Okay, we can fix that right here. We cannot. We'll bring it in and then we'll do it. We'll just say okay. Okay, I guess I have to go out to, back out to my Excel to change it, which is fine. So it kind of finds your errors too for you, which is nice. So since I didn't catch that before, I had 2 E's. You probably saw me do it. Oops. So we'll save it again, close it. Took care of that problem. Now we can bring it in again. Again, select the sheet we want. Now let's fix that and we can import it. So if I come back over to here, we see that that's now been updated. And they kept the same order. We didn't go 1, 2, 3, and so on. So one more thing, we just want to show how we can easily do a staking report. And I have done this in another demo. So I'm going to make this kind of quick in the interest of time here. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to load it from template. So I have a staking report already in here, right here. I got structure staking, sanitary staking. I've got 2 of them. I'm going to do the structure staking one. I'm going to load it up. And so from here, these would probably be the things you would need to send out to the field. Maybe not in that order, and that's fine. The ID in this case could supplement your, let's do this, reorganize those. Supplement for your point number. Slide that over one more, and you can see that I can grab a whole bunch to reorder in mass right there. So here's what we want for staking. We want our point number, northing, easting, elevation, and then some extra information, rim, or some, we've got our rim, we've got station offset, which you could put, export it, and it will show up kind of as a check for your field guys. It'll populate in your other descriptors if you have them turned on in your data collector. So from right here, then I can export that. I already did that to save time. So I'm gonna have to make one just to show you. So I'll do right there, and I'm gonna say I could write to an existing, so I have different sheets here, structures, rewrite to those. I'm gonna create a new though. I'm gonna export. And this exports as an XLS. So all you have to do is save it as a CSV. So you probably wouldn't want this. That will not work well in your data collector. So you could just delete those out of there. Or in my sheet here, the reason I made this for my Excel was to have this as a header. So I don't have to redo this every time. So I can just copy that. And if I use this same sheet every time, then I get that right there. So I get the same stuff. I don't have to do all the work. I did it once here. I have this Excel saved already, which will save me some time in the long run. So now I just have to go and save it as a CSV. It's going to go to the same path where I was previously. Put it wherever you want. So we just change it to the CSV right here. And I'm going to leave it as that name. Got it. So, okay. So if I was going to send this out to the field, I would probably just delete all these. Delete all those. I would leave it at that. And again, too, I would go ahead and I would delete all of that as well. And then I would resave it. And now it's ready to send to the field. So point number, northing, easting, elevation of the sump. So your cut fill can come from there. Some helping stuff here, notes. And that's how quickly we can create a staking report from this too. So with that, that's all I had to show you today. Again, this is part of our CTC SIM project suite. We're on version 20.4.0 with a new release coming shortly. We have our SIM manager suite too, management suite. That will be updated as well. If you don't have our stuff, you can contact us here at CTC Software and we can help you out there, or you can get it from your local reseller. And if you have any ideas for us for new tools, improvements, we'd love to hear that. So thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, I'll stick around for a little bit. You can type them in. Otherwise, have a great day, everybody, and we'll see you at our next webinar. I think I'm doing another pipe report, another piping one next week. So thank you for joining us. Have a great day.